Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Phumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Remember that it's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It is News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week, Twitter poll is asking you how much time you spend on gaming devices on your mobile phone especially. And this, as Microsoft has said, that gaming is where the new growth area will be, especially on mobile devices. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this particular episode. We went to check out visual effects at Jozi. This weekend, we know that ComicCon Africa is taking place. And in our conversation, we discuss how network providers are affected by increased power outages. Many in the industries of visual effects, animation and other graphics that are used in content creation, film and television met up at Jozi recently to discuss some of the intricacies of their industries.
Jozi firstly stands for Animation, Visual Effects, Interactive in Jozi. And Jozi is very, very important to me because Jozi is where I was born, but also I felt there was a need to open up opportunities for artists, for creatives. Jozi is the lifeblood of South Africa, where 15 million people live, and they are crazy artists. They do amazing stuff, and for me it was important to actually have Jozi starting here in the center, in the coolest place.
Jozi is very important, especially with the target audience that it has. It allows for all these young people to connect with industry experts, and that is one of the most important things if you want to ensure that there is enough knowledge being provided to the students and to the next generation of animators or visual effect artists and game developers and all of that.
I think events like Jozi are really, really important, especially for understanding what the nature of animation and the industry is like here in South Africa.
Animation is still small compared to other countries around the world, but events like this will definitely bring people together, and people can see new technologies, know what it's about and get excited about the industry.
I think the animation and VFX as well as interactive talent in South Africa is growing. It's always been there, but the thing is it's creating those opportunities that open up more of those opportunities. So when big studios come to us, we've got the talent ready and available.
There's a lot more and more engagement that is actually happening now, and I think with the contribution from, like, let's say Chocolate Tribe being able to showcase that they are working on series and animations that is all the way to Netflix and Disney Plus, you then get to see a lot more engagement because people are now aware of there is a local company, there's a local big company that is doing amazing stuff, and it's in Joburg.
There's been a lot of enthusiasm from students who go here and study animation and study design. A lot of people have been coming here and saying that they feel inspired, so I think it's been great.
When I spoke to Nozipo, she told me that numbers had doubled. They actually had to stop registrations for this year's event. And I've engaged with a few speakers as well, and it's been quite interesting. I was in a few of the venues for the speakers and the master classes. It's get full, it's get packed.
I think for us, it's not just about numbers. It's the caliber of questions. It's the sessions that we've had. We've had master classes, presentations. We have film screenings. People are eating, dancing. And they're feeling that their artistry is being validated. So absolutely, my expectations are met. I think what's so key is the fact that as a community of artists, we're growing and we're confident, we're expressing our artistry. So yes, definitely, my expectations were met.
It is the beginning of ComicCon Africa, as it is the long weekend. It seems to have been extended this year.
From creepy merchandise for the non-conformist to gaming experiences for the fanatics, ComicCon Africa promises to bring its A-game for geeks to enjoy.
I think we're so excited from last year, first time at this venue. We have now learnt the ways. We've expanded the food truck villages. We've got 3 food truck villages. We've got a massive gaming hall. We've got the pop culture hall, which has got everything from comics to a kids kids section, so making it really an ultimate family day out. We've got Kentucky Fried Chicken's exclusive menu, only available to ComicCon Africa, so worth a try. There are so many activations, free-to-play gaming areas. It's unlimited amount of things for everyone to do.
Content creator Kenton Parker says this type of event helps build South Africa's gaming, comics and anime communities.
I think the cool thing about Comic-Con is it's such a cool collection of people from different walks of life, different interests, different backgrounds, and I think Comic-Con just brings everyone together. I mean, it's the pop culture and gaming festival of the year that everyone looks forward to, and I think specifically this year with the Artist Alley having different artists from all different walks of life, have their different styles and mediums that they get to showcase for everyone on display, and then maybe specifically the gaming hall. I think the gaming hall, there's a lot of exhibitors that are coming here, specifically Kudu, Mortal Kombat 1, Nintendo, Telcom VS Gaming, we've got Doritos Crunch Cup, we've got Red Bull. There's so much happening for everyone. And I think from a gaming experience, Comic-Con really does well to offer that to the gaming community, but I think specifically just to the South African market. There's people from all over the country that are traveling here to experience this specifically, and I think, yeah, touching on the point of community. I think that's where it's at with ComicCon Africa.
A very big part of ComicCon Africa is about community. And there are so many different communities. We've got our artists, we've got our creatives, we've got pop culture enthusiasts, we've got the ultimate geeks, and I think Comic-Con's one space or platform that brings so many various communities together. And I think from the start of bringing Comic-Con to Africa, people found a space where they could come together, they could meet friends. It's completely diverse, and these communities were like, okay, wait, I can meet in one spot where I've got like-minded individuals around me, and I think that's just how it grew. And we're actually seeing communities grow, which is really, really great.
We at Network took a tour at the Nasrec Expo Center in Johannesburg to get a glimpse of what attendees will be experiencing at this year's AfricaCom. As some exhibitors were setting up shop, one managed to take us through her stall.
We're looking at voodoo, occult, a little bit of cannabis stuff, a little bit of horror, everything that we can think of that's against the grain.
The 5th annual AfricaCom opened its doors on Friday, September 22nd and will be taking place until Monday, September 25th.
All right, so let's go to our startup corner now.
A proudly South African artificial intelligence company, Rafta, launched a groundbreaking product called Shuri AI. The name is inspired by a character that's a tech enthusiast in the Marvel movie Black Panther. Rafta CEO Tsidiso Radine says Shuri AI will provide solutions that will redefine the boundaries of technology.
So Shuri AI is really trying to digitize critical infrastructure, help infrastructure operators to be efficient, reduce risk, reduce incidents like theft, vandalism, be able to respond in a timeless manner, be able to prevent anything from those critical infrastructures from shutting down and really operating it the way they're supposed to. So really it does 4 key things: is to manage, is to monitor, is to secure and inspect critical infrastructure assets, essentially.
Head of Research and Development at Rafta, Dr. Shanae Moodley, says they're excited about where the future of AI and technology is heading in the country and the African continent.
So currently we have Shuri Face, Shuri Voice and Shuri Sky, and these are all sort of facial recognition, voice recognition, object detection platforms, but this is all going to be integrated into something we're calling Shuri Lens. And Shuri Lens is the future. It's going to be a smart city. We're going to integrate everything from your traffic data to your ecology, to your healthcare, to your tracking of diseases. Everything's going to be encapsulated in one Shuri Lens, and that's where we see the future going.
The launch event was held in Johannesburg and attended by industry leaders, technology enthusiasts, and special guests from a range of sectors. They expressed excitement about the technology.
Very, very impressive. It's something that South Africa and Africa can be proud of. We're always known as a continent that sells, that resells or repackages components from other continents, from Europe, from America, from Asia. But here we are, we're creating something from the ground up. This is something that we can be proud of for the 1.4 billion people on the African continent.
I think Shuri AI is an amazing, amazing development. I think in the IoT space and in the technology space, we definitely need to be looking at how we improve not only the lives of corporate, but like Sidiso said, the lives of the community. And so that the people are the people that benefit the most from what we do as technology companies. So I truly believe in the solution.
It's really a truly inspiring evening. I'm reminded that where there is hope, there's a future. And when you see young blacks, scientists and entrepreneurs coming together around a vision and speaking into it and articulating it, it really gives you hope for the future. And you realize that Africa is in good hands.
Radine says, from the science and research perspective, they have taken a first principle approach to the development and evaluation of the machine learning models.
We take our device, we plug it into those equipment or sensors. We then take and pull the data from those things to be able to tell you what's really going on in real time, to be able to predict in the future what might happen, right? So to prevent any failures, for example. If there is an intrusion or an act of vandalism happening in real time, we are able to tell you to respond and how to respond, and that's what effectively it does.
The Shuri AI device is deployed on site and integrates to all sensors to process data on the edge using its own engine. Data analysis occurs even offline without insights being lost due to the network going offline. The device is ready and available for industries such as telecoms, energy security, water security, and critical infrastructure.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat about all things 5G, what it's used for, and how load shedding actually impacts on mobile phone network providers. It is a SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Now, KwaZulu-Natal has experienced quite a few problems, especially when it comes to the vandalism that's happened to technology infrastructure. There was the torching of 5G towers at a certain point in time. That's about 2 or so years ago. And there often are stories in the news about some of the vandalism that happens, especially when there are power outages in South Africa. To talk to us about this is Imran Khan, who's the managing executive of Vodacom in KwaZulu-Natal. And basically, we'll be talking about what they do and the business and how they're fixing some of these problems in general. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network, Imran. Maybe if you can start by telling us about how load shedding impacts on some of your business.
Yeah, so it has a significant impact. Our business is power heavy. We have to run all our sites with electricity. So what we've done is we've built a lot of resilience into the business to cope with the load shedding. So I think to start off, I think we've made it quite common knowledge that we spent almost 4 billion rand on batteries over the last few years. We've done very similar in KZN. We've installed batteries in every site. We also have generators, and we have about 200 generators currently in the province, and we also have an entire resilience project that we're busy with, and we're spending up to about 300 million rand on batteries and other pieces of equipment to cope with the load shedding.
All right, I just mentioned that cable theft has been quite a huge issue and vandalism as well. How does that impact on you now? And also the theft of diesel in some of your backup systems?
Theft overall is a problem. Yeah, so I think theft and vandalism is having a significant impact in KZN more than anywhere else. We're seeing cable theft, we're seeing fuel theft as well as battery theft. That's just exacerbating the problem when it comes to load shedding. So what effectively happens is during load shedding, the battery will kick in and it will last anywhere between 4 to 8 hours and keep the site up. Over long terms of load shedding, the capacity of the battery drops. So in each time that it needs to be used, it will have less and less life to be able to power the site.
And eventually a battery that would normally have 5 years of life would actually only last 1 year, to be honest, during our stages of load shedding, what we are experiencing. The vandalism just makes the situation worse, because now what will happen is you'll have batteries being stolen, load shedding of course kicks in, and what happens is there is no alternate power and the site will drop immediately. So in most cases, when our customers would complain, you know what, your site's going down immediately after load shedding, it's because the battery's been stolen.
I suppose you're getting into the intricacies of why network would be slowing down a little bit, but maybe if you can break it down for us. When there's a power cut, network slows down. Why?
It's because of the architecture of the network. So let me put it to you this way, right? So typically a network would have smaller networks within it. So you'll have a cluster of around 5 sites that look after an entire area. You would be registered on one site. That would be your primary site or your primary cell. Now, in the scenario that I just explained, whether it is load shedding or whether it's because of stolen batteries, that site might drop. Now, what would happen is your primary site, which is your best site for your coverage, has now lost power and is now switched off. You will start now receiving almost like residual or peripheral coverage from a site that's further away from you. So your experience is significantly reduced because you're actually getting signal strength from a site that's much further away. That's why your experience on your phone during load shedding seems like it's deteriorated.
Do you think we're on track for that South Africa Connect that the government talks about, which is essentially to have everybody connected by a certain point in time?
It's a major hindrance, but like with everything else, you've got to roll with the punches and you've got to find the solutions, right? I think a big contributor to the African vision around digitizing all communities is our rural rollout. So in KZN alone, in this year, we'll roll out about 143 sites. And that's really going deep rural. It's going to areas specified by the Department of Telecommunications and ICASA, but that we've also identified have a very low internet penetration, almost non-existent. And we'll go and build a world-class 4G site. And that site will be as equipped as every other site. So the experience, whether you're in Sandton, Paris, or rural Nongoma, you can have the same experience. So it will have batteries, it'll have a generator capability. So during load shedding and all these power challenges, it will get the same benefits like every other urban site. And I think that is a major driver to driving rural coverage and, like I said, you know, achieving that African dream.
Before we get to 5G, why would you still be deploying 4G technologies?
So 4G there's still a lot of capability in high-speed 4G. So we're currently modernizing our network. And you're taking a customer from a plus minus 20 megabits per second to almost 40 megabits per second. That's enormous. That's really huge. You can run an entire household with 4 or 5 devices and have a great experience. So it's all you're doing is really using software to really improve on your current infrastructure. And it's actually a very cost-effective way to give customers an entirely new and better experience. 5G, there is a cost. You're actually rolling out new equipment. So it'll actually take time for us to roll out this 5G in the entire network and share our CapEx investment between all the other priorities that we have. Also, the use case for consumers is not yet there for 5G. You know, you can only watch a YouTube video so fast, whether it's 5 megabits per second or 200 megabits per second. Your eye physically can't really adjust to that. It's really going to be our corporate customers who are currently busy with their R&D around how they will use 5G. And they will basically pull the demand for 5G. So 4G still has a lot of benefits to the end consumer.
You've been in the process of deploying 5G. Tell us about that and who some of your customers are and what they're using it for.
You're seeing this massive spike in 4G traffic as we modernize. The 5G traffic is there, but not growing at the same pace because your device, your 5G device, will always use the most cost-effective and the best technology that's available to you at that point in time. We have just south of probably 200,000 customers already. About 8% of our network is 5G capable. And what we're currently using it for is to actually alleviate traffic and congestion on the network. So I think overall, your customer base is typically your high-value customer that is really buying the device for many other features other than that it's just its 5G capability. And we are seeing it in those suburbs where you get the early adopters of technology, your typical high-value environments. But to be honest, are they really using it for something for what it's meant, which is really 5G is meant to reduce latency? I don't think so. I think that it's really the business customer who's going to really start finding the best uses for 5G.
All right, Imran Khan, thank you very much for being a part of our network. That's Imran Khan. He's the managing executive of Vodacom in KwaZulu-Natal. Remember, it is SABC Network. Now, that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. Stay with us. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
The first edition of a biennial Rio de Janeiro exhibition showcasing 70 interactive works that fuse art and technology kicked off this week. The exhibition contains work such as a machine that shapes social relationships, light springs to explain quantum physics, or robots with tentacles that react to human movements.
It's a participatory installation where your face is captured and a double avatar is created for you. And your avatar then joins other previously captured avatars in a series of narrative which takes place during the simulation.
The event will run until end of October and contains programs celebrating the diversity and innovation of art and technology. In motor technology, Toyota introduced a new self-driving transport robot that ferries new vehicles across the company's large lots, a job typically done by drivers before loading cars onto carrier trucks. Truck drivers must walk long distances, fetching cars, eating into driving time and adding to physical burden in a job where turnover is high. According to Toyota's website, the vehicle logistic robot intends to reduce that manpower and workload. Moving to Kazakhstan, the country has been upgrading and electrifying its public transportation fleets as part of its collaboration with China towards green development. The city has recently received 320 brand new vehicles, among which 20 are electric buses made in China. Transportation costs have long been a major problem. However, Kazakhstan is now a major trading hub, which has encouraged many Chinese vehicle manufacturers to set up factories there.
There are reports that say a leaked Microsoft report suggests that growth in gaming is fueled by a lot of advertising and a lot of mobile content. And this week, our Twitter poll is asking you if you've started playing video games and how much you spend on video games when you are playing them on your mobile devices. All right, and that's it. So that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. Now, that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. From me, Spumela Lezondi, and the rest of the team. Have a good one. Bye-bye.